Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on betkraft. Another very beautiful day, beautiful Tuesday morning, and we are back with our games. We look at football matches happening across the globe, and we will make values on each of these matches. Based on recent results that they have, and that's what we do. And we've been doing well on this, and hopefully we're going to do very much, exceptional today. All right, that we have so many games happening across the globe, and we're going to look at these matches. All right, in a short while. But before we do that, we want to urge you, those of us who have not subscribed, if you're coming across the video for the first time, take our time to subscribe as well as to like and share. And also remember, we have a VIP membership in the channel. We'll put out games that have that much more probability of coming out correctly. You can always endeavor to join through the link in the description, as well as anywhere you see join channel membership around this very video. All right, with that said, we head to the business for today, and we'll start looking at the matches. We'll start with the game in the English Premier League. We'll have Manchester United will be up against West Ham, and when you look at the stats for these two sides, you can see for the home side, the Manchester United, the last 6 games have seen them winning 3 and drawing 2. They've lost once in the last 6 games, and that way side West Ham, on the other hand, have had 2 victories and a draw. They've also lost 3 matches, out of the last 6 games that they had so far. And when you look at how these two sides fared for home and away basis, how did Manchester United fare in the last 10 home matches? All right, we could see for United, the last 10 home game they had produced 6 victories and 2 draws, as well as 2 losses in the last 10 home matches for United. And for the away side, West Ham, the last 10 away games that they had produced 3 victories and 2 draws. They also had 5 losses. They lost 5 games in the last 10 away matches. All right. When we'll go to head-to-head, results between the two sides, we could see that the last time both teams met, it was Manchester United who won on that very occasion. It was a 2-1 victory for Manchester United, and on that occasion they played from home and also playing from home on this very one. So we definitely expect the home side to achieve a good result in this one, and we are going with the home side, Manchester United, to win out shortly in this very encounter. Home win, that's our verdict. Okay, all right, the next we have for you today is in Danish league, or actually Danish Cup. We'll have Mighty Landa who will be up against Landa. All right, looking at the stats for these two sides, we could see Mighty Land having 3 victories in the last 6 matches. They have also had 1 draw as well as 2 losses in the last 6 games that they had. And for the away side, Landa, it is 2 victories and 4 losses out of the last 6 games that they had so far. All right, from home and away perspective, we could look at the home side at Mighty Land. The last 10 home games that they had produced 9 victories and 1 draw. They've not lost a single match in the last 10 home matches. And we could see them winning 90% of the last 10 home games that they had. That's a side that does very well from home. You look at the away side, on the other hand, Neuerland, that last 10 away game they had produced 4 wins and 6 losses. And the last time both teams met, it was the home side, Mighty Land, who have the upper hand on that very occasion. We saw a very, very big result for Mighty Land on that very occasion. We saw them beating Neuerland by 6-0 on that very occasion. And definitely in this very one, we are expecting to see a results for the home side in this very encounter. So it is a home side to win outrightly, Mighty Land to win. That's our verdict for that very game. All right. Next is in Italy. Italian Serie B, you will have Juve Stabia who will be up against Bari. All right, and looking at the stats for these two sides, you can see for the home side, Juve Stabia, the last 6 games have resulted to 2 victories and 2 draws, as well as 2 losses in the last 6 games for the home side, Juve Stabia. And for the away side, Bari, we'll see 2 victories and a draw, but I've also had 3 losses out of the last 6 games that they had at recent times. And when you look at how they fared for home and away perspective, you go down to last 10 home games for the home side at Juve Stabia. The last 10 home games produced 5 victories for the home side. Also, they had 4 draws as well as 1 loss in the last 10 home matches that they had so far. All right, 50% of the time, they've actually saw victory in the last 10 home matches. All right, for the away side, Barry, the last 10 away games that they had so far haven't been a very good one. I haven't seen that the best result that they had was just 3 draws in the last 10 away matches. They lost 7 games out of those. They've not been able to win a single match in the last 10 away matches that they had. That's a side that have been in very, very much poor form. Their away side, Barry, they've lost 70% of their away games that they had in the last 10 away matches, managing to draw only 3. That's a very poor run. So when you look at how these two sides fared from home and away basis, from a head-to-head perspective, rather, we could see the last time both teams met, it was Juve Stabia who actually had, the better result on that very occasion. We saw them beating Barry by 3 goals to 1. And prior to that, when they played from away, Juve Stabia won from away once again from away. They also had a 3-1 victory against Barry on that very occasion again. So the last two meetings between the two sides saw Juve Stabia doing very well, winning by 3 goals to 1. The same scoreline, both home and away. So we do expect to see the home side, Juve Stabia, also winning in this very one. Despite big odd, we are going with the home side to take the home win out shortly. That's what Friday for that very encounter. Lastly, we head to the next game, also in Italy, not in Serie A. It is in Coppa Italia, where we have Bologna FC will be up against Parma. Okay, we're looking at the stats for these two sides. For Bologna, it is 4 victories and a draw in the last 6 matches, and they had 1 loss as well. When you look at Parma, their away side, they've had just 1 victory and 2 draws. They've lost 3 games in the last 6 matches. All right, for Parma, their away side. All right, looking at how these two sides played from home and away basis. All right, we look at Bologna, the home side, the last 10 home games for Bologna, as well as the last 10 away games for Parma. So we're looking at Bologna, the home side. Last 10 home games that they had produced 5 victories and 3 draws, and also had 2 losses out of the last 10 home matches for Bologna, the home side. That is to say, they've lost 2 games, but have won 50% of the matches that they had from home in the last 10 home matches. All right, when you look at their away side, Parma, on the other hand, it is 2 victories for them in the last 10 away matches, as well as 4 draws and 4 losses for Parma, their away side. They've not been very, they're not been in the best of forms, having won just 2 games and 4 draws. They've lost 4 matches. All right, when you take a look at how these two sides fared, the last time both teams met, it was a 3-1 victory for Bologna on that very occasion. We saw Bologna doing very well from away against Parma, beating them by 3 goals to 1 on that very occasion. All right, that tells you a lot about this very side, and it is a Bologna side who have been doing very well in recent games. We saw them how they fared from last season to this very season. They have been in fine form. They've been able to defeat some very heavy opponents. So we do expect to see a result for the home side in this one. It's a cup match, but we expect to see Bologna coming out on top in this very encounter. So home win out shortly. That's our verdict for that very encounter. All right, that will conclude it for us today on betkraft. We wish you the very, very best of luck and hope your ticket goes green. And remember to play responsibly, as these are football matches. Sometimes it may not always be what was presented. Sometimes other factors might play in, but we do expect to see a positive result in this one. And wish you the very best. All right, remember the other games that we have for you will be on our VIP membership. We'll be posting those ones in our VIP. All right, remember those ones we have in the VIP. We believe to have that higher probability of coming out correctly, better than this one. So do endeavor to join. You can always find the link in the description of the very video. With that said, tomorrow is another day. But until that time, keep winning.